warm good afternoon because we have one of the most prestigious chef in the city and most popular chef in the city here. So I just wanted to welcome our guest speaker, Mr. Venkatesh Sharma, Chef Venkatesh Sharma. Sir, welcome to the platform of PU webinar, and such a pleasure to host you there.
Thank you so much, sir. And first of all, I would like to thank the Parul University, to the principals, and to the entire faculty members, and especially Kapil sir, to you for inviting me here. I think just because of you, this today's session is conducting. And thank you so much, everyone. जो भी ये session देखेगा for your valuable time. And today's session is very important if I talk about, because today's session is about deconstruction of Indian cuisine and plating and presentation, which is, I think, one of the most important topic nowadays, and one of the most trending topic nowadays. If we talk about plating and presentation, because whenever nowadays we go to any restaurant or any cafe, we just pick out a phone and we just take a click a picture of that food and we upload to that social media. So I think if the food is not properly plated, is if it is not properly presented, we will not capture that pic and we will not upload to that social media. So I think it is very important for our day-to-day life, and for all the chefs or all the budding chefs who will watch this session, that why plating and presentation is so important, and why it is important in Indian cuisine also. So over to you, Kapil sir, if you want to
Yeah,
say
thank
something
you
for
for giving
today's topic.
detail about what we are going to do. Now, just wanted to remind all the students. First of all, I'll have to welcome you also because this is just for you and other viewers who are there who are watching us live on the Facebook. Let me remind you one thing: is we think that learning should never stop, and this is what has been the aim of our academia in Parul University. And for that only, we try to bring up some of the best talent in the industry. And for today's thing, like nowadays in industry, or you see economically, the situation is like you have to be self-dependent. And to talk about the Indianization of the cuisines which are there, it's an important thing. First of all, people have started. If we talk about the new generation, people have started taking up the trends which are there in international market, but they have kind of forgotten what is there with them because as a cuisine part. Because if we look at our cuisines, these are one of the most peculiar and as well as one of the finest cuisines that we have in India, and this is unmatchable. For that also, before going and adopting this trend of culinary in international market, we should know what do we have and our authenticity about the cuisines that we have. And for that only, this session has been designed, just keeping in mind that people, before going in the outer market, they should be knowing what they are. And this will make them aware about the situation. How can we bring up our things in the market and how can we make them trend like international cuisines are trending? So that's what the aim of today's session is. And when I talked to Chef, he was the only one who suggested it. Let me remind, I remain in constant touch with him, and whatever I see his work is phenomenal. And of course, it's not like he's diverting or totally drastically talking against international cuisines, but at the same time, we have to know that what is best with us, and at the same time we also have to bring up our talent, our local cuisines which are there, and to put it in front of the international market which is there to be adopted and to be modified by them, just like we modified pasta in an Indian way. We can also present our dishes or our cuisines to international market to be modified them, or something short of things, just because I mean, in Indian cuisine so far is limited to some of the peculiar dishes only. If you talk about international market now, if we take it as a platform to describe what else could be brought forward and put it in front of the sellers or manufacturers of the food, in food industry, that would be good, and that's what the aim of this session is. Chef, I would hand it over to you.
Okay,
And
thank you so much,
once
sir.
again, students, I will tell you that this is going to be one of the most important session you have had till now, because you'll get to learn so
Thank
many
you so
things. This is
much.
what I have to
Thank you
handing
so much,
over to
sir.
you.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. So, first of all, I would like to say that cooking is a combination of art and science. ये हम लोग हमेशा से सुनते आ रहे हैं, जब से आई थिंक हम लोगों ने होटल मैनेजमेंट का कोर्स स्टार्ट किया है या जब भी हम लोग ज्वाइन करते हैं. सो एक बारीक सी बिल्कुल छोटी सी डेफिनेशन है कि कुकिंग इज अ कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ आर्ट एंड साइंस. एंड हाउ वी डिफाइन इट इज the way we cook any dish, like it's a type of chemical reactions. When we prepare any dish, when we prepare any food in the world, it's a type of chemical reaction. Like salt, it's a chemical compound, NaCl, or we add different type of spices. So in any chemistry lab, जब भी हम लोग 10th 11th या 12th में किसी chemistry lab में हम लोग work करते थे, तो हम लोग 2 या 3 केमिकल्स को आपस में मिला करके एक कुछ नया क्रिएशन करते हैं. सो ठीक वैसे ही कुकिंग के अंदर भी वी ऐड plenty of ingredients, spices, herbs, and we create some phenomenal or some very tasty unique dishes. Okay, so इस तरीके से ये एक साइंस हो जाती है. Now the most important part is you can say cooking is a art. अब आर्ट कैसे होता है? एक पेंटर है, एक स्केच आर्टिस्ट है, उसके पास क्या होता है? एक ब्लैंक कैनवस होता है, एक ब्लैंक पेपर होता है, कुछ कलर्स होते हैं. अब पूरा का पूरा उसका क्रिएशन जो होता है उसके माइंड में होता है. अब उन कलर्स से उस ब्लैंक कैनवस के ऊपर वो क्या पेंट कर सकता है, वो पूरी की पूरी उसकी क्रिएटिविटी होती है. सो बीइंग अ शेफ वी हैव टू एक्ट लाइक अ साइंटिस्ट एज वेल एज लाइक अ स्केच आर्टिस्ट और अ पेंटर. ओके, इंग्रेडिएंट्स है हमारे पास, हमने उसको किस तरीके से प्रिपेयर किया है, तो वो हम लोगों का साइंस हो गया. अब उसी साइंस के कंपाउंड को हम अपनी प्लेट के ऊपर किस तरीके से प्रेजेंट करते हैं, दैट इज आर्ट. तो उस एक एक परफेक्ट शेफ को एक साइंटिस्ट के साथ साथ एक यू कैन से एक आर्टिस्ट भी होना पड़ता है. ठीक है. एंड इफ यू टॉक अबाउट मी, फॉर मी एनी cuisine is an extension of culture it belongs to, or so what fascinate me towards the food is where the food we eat comes from. Like जो भी हम खाना खा रहे हैं वो कहाँ से आ रहा है, उसकी हिस्ट्री क्या है, कैसे वो इवॉल्व हुआ है, और जो आज तक हम खाते आए हैं उसको हम किस नए तरीके से, किस नए फॉर्मेशन के साथ हमारी आने वाली जनरेशन को या हम अपने मार्केट में अपने कस्टमर्स को सेल कर सकते हैं. बिकॉज जैसे कि मैंने इस सेशन के स्टार्टिंग में ही बताया है कि आज की डेट में जब भी हम लोग कहीं पे कोई भी रेस्टोरेंट में, किसी भी होटल के अंदर खाना खाने के लिए जाते हैं, और कोई भी फूड आइटम है, अगर वो हमें देखने में अच्छा लगता है, तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल हम क्या करते हैं, इस तरीके से पॉकेट में से अपना फोन निकालेंगे, उसकी पिक क्लिक करेंगे और उसको सोशल मीडिया पे अपलोड करते हैं. ठीक है. बट इन केस अगर वो फूड अच्छे से प्रेजेंट नहीं है, वेल प्रेजेंटेड नहीं है, तो आई डोंट थिंक हम में से कोई भी उस फूड की फोटो को क्लिक करके उसको सोशल मीडिया पे अपलोड करेगा. ओके, सो दैट्स वाई जो प्लेटिंग एंड प्रेजेंटेशन होती है वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रोल प्ले करती है हमारी डे टू डे लाइफ में, फॉर बीइंग अ शेफ एज वेल एज फॉर फूड ब्लॉगर्स, और किसी भी एक सिंपल पर्सन की लाइफ में भी. और आज की डेट में अगर हम बात करें अपने बिजनेस को इवॉल्व करने की, उसको आगे बढ़ाने में, तो सोशल मीडिया एक ऐसा प्लेटफॉर्म है जो बहुत ज्यादा हेल्प करता है हम सभी को. और खाली पब्लिक ही नहीं, फूड ब्लॉगर्स एक ऐसी कम्युनिटी इस टाइम पर मार्केट में है जो कि आपके बिजनेस को आगे बढ़ाने में बहुत ज्यादा हेल्प करती है. ठीक है. तो आई कैन से कि आप में से बहुत सारे लोग ऐसे होंगे जो कि कल को जाकर के अपना खुद का रेस्टोरेंट ओपन करेंगे, अपना होटल ओपन करेंगे, तो ये चीज बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट रोल प्ले करेगी. ठीक है. तो लेट्स सी, मेरे पास एक प्रेजेंटेशन है, तो अब मैं ये आपको बताता हूँ कि प्लेटिंग एंड प्रेजेंटेशन क्यों इंपॉर्टेंट होती है.
Chef, one small request is there.
Yes,
Just as
sir.
you have been given this, you have been giving this information very nicely. I want
Okay.
the students from South and from out of India also to be benefited. And for that, I mean,
Okay. Okay.
both the language will work, like
Okay.
Hindi and English both.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So
Sure.
this
Sure. Sure. Definitely.
is from out. Yeah,
Okay.
thank you so much.
Fine. Fine. Okay. So let's talk about how we can calculate our food basics, and we can plate our food into a blank canvas. Okay, so as you can see on slide, in culinary arts the chefs use white space, or you can say a white plate, to strengthen their presentation. Whenever we talk about presentation of a food or any dish, uh, chefs or professional bakers or professional cooks, they generally uh, take white plate, or a white platter for the presentations, because white plate or white presentation is the key factor which can highlight your foods. As you can see in the pic, uh, the plate is totally white in color, and the food is which you can see is dark brownish in color. So always remember, while plating or presentation of food, the color combination plays an important role and important part. So whenever you are preparing any dark color food, the color of the food is dark red, maroon, or a dark brown in color, so always go for a white or a light color plates or platters. Okay, and if your food is prepared in a light color or in a light manner, like yellowish, bluish color, or pink or white in color, so always try to take, or always try to place that food on a dark colored platter, which you can use black color platters, or you can use brown color platters, or you can also use different type of tiles or stones for your presentation. I don't recommend you to buy expensive plates or platters for your presentation, because I know not every and each and every student or budding chef can afford that much expensive platters or plates. So you can go for some stones which can easily available in market, or in any areas, in your local areas, or you can go for tiles, or a stone, or square black platters. Okay, so don't go for expensive platters. Clear? So always try to play with color combinations, and there are some tools and gadgets which you require for the plating and presentation of your food. So there are some tools which you require for a good plating and presentation. Number one, squeezing bottle. With the help of squeezing bottle, you can draw different type of patterns, different type of lines, different type of structures with a squeezing bottle. What you can do, you can add different type of sauces or gravies in that bottle, and on a blank plate or on a blank platter, you can stretch out any lines, any patterns according to you. It's all up to you, and it's all in your mind. Always remember, you have to pretend like a painter or like a sketch artist. So your plate is like a blank canvas for you, and your sauces, your gravies, and all your ingredients are your key elements in your tools. So it's all up to you that how you going to present your food to your customers. The next important tool for your plating and presentation is spatulas, mini spatulas, not that big spatulas. The mini spatulas, which are around 2 to 3 inches in size, and these mini spatulas you can easily find in any stationaries. Okay, so no need to buy it from Amazon or any costly bakery shops. You can go in any stationery, and you can buy that from any local stationery. The next important tool is ring molds. This is one of the most important tool, I think, for plating and presentation. If you want to place any starchy product, which we can say, like a boiled potato or a mashed potato, or boiled rice, or any kind of rice or pasta items, you can use that ring mold to deconstruct and to give that round shape of potatoes, rice, and that pasta. It will look so great. And on the top of that rice or that pasta, you can garnish with the spring onions or with the fried basil or with dill leaves. So you can use that also. Apart from that, you can use pastry brushes, chopsticks, and the most important thing is always use edible garnishes. Never use non-edible garnishes in your plating and presentation. If you talk about edible garnishes, then we can use multiple types of herbs, multiple types of onions, categories of onions, and we can also go for fruit and vegetables carving, which you can use in your plating and presentation. Okay, next important thing is always serve hot plate with a hot food. There are so many chefs and so many cooks who used to serve their hot food on a cold plate, which you can say that whenever you are whenever you or server taking that food to the customer, it the temperature of that food will low down because of cold plate. So whenever you are presenting or whenever you are taking your food to the customer, always try to serve hot food on a hot plate, warm plate, not that much hot, which can burn your hand also. So always serve hot food on a warm plate and the cold food on a very cold plate. Okay, so what I want to say is always try to reduce the amount of food on your plate. Okay, never ever mess up with your plate. Like whenever we are plating or presentation our food, so try to give your food on you can say that in an even number. Like you are, if you are serving a starter, so always try to serve it in even number portions, like 2, 4, 6, 8. That's it. Okay, and never ever mess up with your plate. Like I will show some food photos. Always try to show 60% of your plate to the customer. If your food is or your plate is 60% visible, it can easily attract to the customer towards it. Okay, if we are presenting some messy plates or messy preparation to the guest, he will not like that presentation and plating at all. Okay, whenever we go to roadside dhaba or any roadside restaurant, what they will do, whenever we order some food in a roadside dhaba or roadside restaurant, they take out the menu and they will confirm from us that yes, what you want, and they bring that dal in a round bowl which is full of dal and it was dripping from outside, and he will bring some rice in a plate, in a flat plate. So it will not look that much good, but the same dal and the same rice, if we order in a fine dine restaurant or in a fine dine cafe or in a Michelin star restaurant, then what will happen, they will bring one single plate in which they will they will arrange some rice or some pasta in a very good manner, and on the other hand, they will pour some sauce or some dal with a soup bowl or any other fancy plates or platters, which will look good. And while pouring that, it will fascinate us, and we will take out our mobile phones and cell phones, and we will start clicking pictures of it. So in this picture, you can see that 60% of the plate is visible, and only 40% of plate is covered with food, like this one. Okay, so it's grilled chicken, and in presentation, I have used some cherry tomatoes and broccolis. Just in the second image, you can see it's a potato croquette. Again, in this picture, you can see that at least 70 to 80% of the plate is visible. So visibility of plate will ensure that that the chef is that the picture of the food and the presentation is clear is totally clear in chef's mind, and what he want to tell you the story, and what story is playing in his mind. He is clear with that, and the whole story is plated on a single canvas blank plate. Okay, so always try to reduce the amount of the food in your plate. Okay, like now, if you talk about deconstructed Indian cuisine, like what is deconstructed Indian cuisine? So you can say uh, the manner or the style of presenting Indian food, the existing Indian food into the modern era or into the modern way is known as deconstructed Indian cuisine. Okay, like if we talk about if we go in any of the Indian restaurant and we order butter chicken or mutton rogan josh. Okay, so what will we get? A big bowl which is full of curry, mutton rogan josh curry, and 6 to 7 pieces of lamb, maybe lamb chops, maybe lamb shank. Okay, and it is garnished with some extra oil, some rogan, and some ginger julienne. Okay, so this is authentic Indian style of presenting mutton rogan josh. But if we talk about deconstructed Indian cuisine, the same mutton rogan josh will be presented in a very small portion, just like we used to serve our food in French cuisine. Okay, so what we'll get in deconstructed Indian cuisine is this. Okay, so this is also a type of, or you can say a variety of mutton rogan josh, in which at the bottom I have poured the mutton rogan josh gravy, and I have put only a small portion of mutton lamb shank. With that, I have garnished it with spring or twill of you can say that refined flour. Okay, and I have also put some dots of mustard sauce and mutton. It's you can say it's a match made in heaven. Okay, and on the other hand, on the right hand side in the front, I have make a fine pattern of beetroot potato. So this is deconstructed Indian cuisine. Like the existing recipe, the mutton rogan josh is one of the most oldest recipe of India, and we have taken it so far, and the way of presenting it in a new style or in a new way is known as deconstructed Indian cuisine. So in the next slide, you can see it's a new formation of masala dosa. The typical masala dosa which we order in any restaurant, in any hotel, what we get is a circular, flat, or you can say spiral bread, Indian thin bread, in which we have placed some mashed potato, which is flavored with some spices and coriander and curry leaves. Okay, so what I have done here, it's the same concept, but the way of presentation is totally different. Okay, so deconstructed Indian cuisine or any deconstructed cuisine, what it consists of is presenting the existing dish into a very unique and a very new way. It's totally up to you or up to the chef how he's going to transform the existing recipes into some another way. Okay, what I can say is, or in a short form, the deconstructed the deconstruction of food is which can play with your mind and senses. It's a type of cuisine, or it's a type of presenting a food in a manner which will play with your mind and with your senses, which make you think that oh my god, this is something special, or this is something unique which I have never seen in my entire life. Okay, so this is what we have to do with our Indian cuisine also, because I think
रेडी करिए यार, नहीं तो सर दर्द हो जाएगा मेरा।
I think
आधा घंटा लग गया, कुछ हुआ नहीं है, भरा ही नहीं कुछ।
just a minute. I think because of deconstructed deconstructed cuisine, French cuisine and the French food is the one which take him to the another level. And that's why French cuisine is nowadays one of the most, you can say, ordered recipe in a menu, or it is one of the finest recipe in the world. So it's our duty, it's the duty of Indian chefs, that we also, or we can take our cuisine, our Indian cuisine, to that level. Because nowadays, or till now, Indian cuisine is far behind than French cuisines. But nowadays, chefs like Ranveer Brar, or chef like Vikas Khanna or chef like Vineet Bhatia, they are taking Indian cuisine to another level. So these are some chefs who transform our Indian cuisine into deconstructed recipes. So if you, any one of you ever open the social media account of Vikas Khanna or Vineet Bhatia or Chef Gagan Anand, then you will look in their account that the way they are presenting the Indian food is totally out of the world. Like after this session, you just go on Instagram and search Chef Gagan Anand. It's Gagan Gagan Anand. He's presently working in Bangkok, and he's 8 Michelin star chef of India, and his restaurant name is Gagan, and his restaurant is in Asia's top 5 restaurant in Asia from last 15 years. Okay, so you just go through his Instagram account, or you can check out his menu items in YouTube also. Just type Gagan Anand restaurant, and you will be shocked to see the type of menu he's serving in his restaurant. He's serving the Indian cuisine in Thailand from last 20 years. Okay, but in a totally different manner. I mean, the way he is presenting the lassi in a molecular gastronomy form is up to the mark, and all the dishes he's serving 27 course menu in a single sitting. Okay, if you go to Bangkok, anyone of you, if you ever plan to go Bangkok, just go to Gagan Anand restaurant. Literally, he's serving 27 course of menu. Whenever we used to study in hotel management college, the faculty members will teach us 17 course French menu. But that guy, that chef Gagan Anand, he's serving 27 to 28 courses of menu, and he's serving only Indian cuisine in his restaurant. He's not serving any Chinese, any Japanese, any French cuisine, nothing. He's serving only Indian cuisine, and believe me, the portion size of Indian cuisine is only a single bite, just like a French plating or a French restaurant style plating he's serving in his restaurant. Okay, so one more thing I want to show you. Okay, this one. As I told you that you don't need any fancy plates or platter, if or you don't need to invest thousands of rupees on expensive plates and platters. This photo, as you can see, only these are naan khatai macaroons. So naan khatai is one of the India's favorite cookies. If we talk about like cookies, it came from France. Okay, but naan khatai it's our Indian. So what I have done, I have transformed that naan khatai into macaroon style. So macaroons is also a French cookies biscuits. So what I have done here, I have taken 2 naan khatais, and I have filled some Greek yogurt inside it. So it looks like Indian macaroons. So this is naan khatai macaroons, Indian formation of macaroons. Okay, so what I have done here, I did not present it on any plate or platter. I just taken some wooden piece of block or a wooden block and just place it on the top of that. So it looks good whenever you are playing with the ingredients, whenever you are playing with the plates and platters. So as I already told you, you don't need to buy any fancy plating or platters. Okay, you just go at your local market. Just go through the market, and if you like anything like these kinds of props, which you can easily find on stationaries or fish aquarium shops or anywhere in your locality market, just grab that and try to be more creative with that stuffs. Like, what can I present on this, or how can I use this prop in my plating and presentation? So by using these kind of props and these kind of tips and tricks in your plating and presentation, you can you can achieve that level of perfection in your life, if you are working, or if you want to work in this field. Okay, so again, this one, this is another basic recipe of Indian cuisine, which is gatta curry. But I have transformed this gatta curry recipe in a very unique way. So this is also a deconstructed Indian recipe trick, where I have deconstructed the gatta. Gatta, you can say it's a poached gram flour dumplings. So what I have done, I have prepared a dough and just roll it out and cut it into thin strips, just like fettuccine pasta. And I just boil them and toss it in garlic and butter and serve it with that gatta curry gravy. So this is what deconstructed cuisine teaches us, that how we can present our existing recipes in a new, or in a new avatar, or in a new way. So this is about deconstructed of Indian cuisine. So you not only you can deconstruct Indian cuisine, you can also deconstructed your Chinese cuisine, your French cuisine, your even your bakery items also. Okay, like I have shown this naan khatai macaroon. So in macaroons, you can go or you can use multiple new recipes or multiple new fillings to deconstruct that existing recipes, or you can use oat meals instead of almond flour, or you can use buckwheat flour instead of almond flour. So by combining more ingredients and compiling them into a new way, it's all about deconstructed cuisine. Okay, so try to plate as much as possible, and try to deconstruct as much as recipes as possible. One more tip I want to give you, that how can you improve your plating and presentation in upcoming time. So what you can do is, just give me a minute. Okay, this is a small trick which I had also already applied on me. So this is a blank paper. What you can do, whenever you are at your home, or you are feeling bored, just take a paper and a pen. Okay, just imagine this is a blank canvas, or a blank plate on which you are going to place your food. Okay, so what you can do is just draw some squares or some rounds on it, like this. Okay, some square or some round on this, or some ovals, or any shape which you want to, like some rectangles, or any shape. Okay, so just imagine this is your plate. Okay, and you are going to prepare some grilled chicken in your kitchen today. So what you can do, before planning a meal, or before preparing a meal, just go through this the way I'm telling you. Just make a square, and you are going to prepare a grilled chicken. So grilled chicken contains chicken breast, mashed potato, and some grilled vegetables. So what we can do, just draw some chicken breast over here. Okay, and what else we have? We have mashed potato. So we have some piped mashed potato here, and we have some grilled vegetable over here. Okay. Now we have spagnol sauce or demi-glace sauce. So what we have done, we have just poured some sauce over here and some sauce dots over here, like this. Okay, so with this method or with this sketching method, you can improve your plating and presentations ideas. When I was student or when I was your like your age, I almost uh, uh, I almost covered 3 to 4 books, or I have filled 3 to 4 rough notebooks with these sketch methods. What this method shows you, or with this help, with this method, what you can achieve, you can you can say ki, uh, you can improvise your skills in plating and presentations, and it will give you more and more ideas on how I can present my grilled chicken or my meal or my item or my food in any other way. Like the same grilled chicken, we can place on a round plate in a different manner, or on a rectangular plate on a different manner. So one dish you can sketch out in multiple ways, like in square plate, how can it will look, on round plate how can it will look, on rectangular plate how can I will put my grilled chicken and my vegetables on a rectangular plate, or if I have some oval plate, oval shaped plate, like this. So how can a single recipe can be presented and played in different styles, or in a different manner. So this is a small trick and tip through which you can improve your plating and presentation skills. Okay, so this is about plating and presentation and deconstruction of Indian cuisines. So I think this is all about importance of plating and presentations and deconstructed cuisine. So if you have any query, any question, you can ask me. Kapil sir, over to you.
Yes, definitely. I think we are in a process to get the questions and they'll be there. But before that, let me put it up, Chef. Like this has been a beautiful session till now. See, what for me I would like to convey to the students is success. For getting success, there are so many tips that you'll get in the market. Right? Everybody will have a standardization of the things that you do, that you should do to achieve the success. And everybody, or the people like chef or anyone who is good at their profession, will have their own style of following that these standardized quality that you have to have while achieving the success, for achieving the success. So for me, the students, I want to tell them that these kind of sessions will help you to improvise your skills. But when, it's not only when you get to know or you just do the same thing that people are telling. You have to think that whatever people have told you, it's about their experience, it's about their trick of doing something. And you have to take out so many good things from them. At the same time, when you are on your work table, you have to apply your own experience also and merge it, and to, I mean, you have to merge it to make it a beautiful product that you're presenting. So, in a way, I would like to say to you that nowadays in the market, you will see that ideas are being sold. So ideas are being sold for what? For money. So let's say if I talk about my presentation skills to you, I will have to get paid. I mean, you'll have to pay to me. But we have some kind of people who are very generous to share their ideas free of cost, and at the same time to tell us about their tricks to do something. And it is immensely important for us as far as the profession is concerned, or as far as the any kind of experience that we have. We would like to make it count for our future life. So that's what it is. I mean, I've got a question also, chef, from one student. That
Yes, sir.
he is a bit, though he is in first semester, second semester, he's a bit skeptic about what is molecular gastronomy? I mean, normally people have talked about nowadays. I mean, before 2 3 years, this has been a hot topic throughout the culinary or maybe culinary profession. So, could you
Okay.
please give some light on that so that the students can really understand that concept? Though we have this thing in our upcoming sessions during the semester, but if they have this introductory detail about it, it would be very
Yeah,
good.
yeah, sure. Actually, molecular gastronomy, you can say that it's a type of cooking method or cooking technique in which we use different type of chemicals. There are four major chemicals which we use in the molecular gastronomy cuisines, which are sodium alginate, calcium lactate, soy lecithin, and agar agar or xanthan gum. Okay, so molecular gastronomy, you can say. In which we can transform any liquid into different shapes or different patterns. Like we can transform orange juice into small pearls, small caviars, or we can transform orange juice into froth, which can go up to 5 to 6 hours as a stabilizer. So agar agar is used to make jelly like structures, and sodium alginate and calcium lactate is used to make pop-up caviars, which will burst in your mouth. And the sodium alginate and soy lecithin, it is normally used to create froth. Whenever we use or whenever we prepare any cold coffee, that froth which came on the top, it will set only for 5 to 10 minutes. It lasts up to 10 minutes. Yeah, max to max 15 minutes. But if we're preparing our cold coffee with soy lecithin, then the froth will last up to 5 to 6 hours. So we can transform any liquid into that froth, and we just collect that froth and kept in refrigerator for about 5 to 6 hours. So whenever we want to plate or presentation any dessert or any food, we can transform any sauce or any liquid into that froth, and just take out that spoon and place it on the top of that dish. So it will look good. It will take your dish to the another level. So it's a basic cooking. It's a basic culinary experience. But in that molecular gastronomy, we use different types of chemicals just to showcase how we can plate or present our sauces or our soups or our juices in another manners. So only four types of chemical are used in molecular gastronomy cuisine. That's it. Nothing else. No rocket science. Just they need to ensure how much amount of chemical we have to use in a particular recipe, because those chemical, if we consume in a large amount, it can cause our stomach pain or some gastric problem in our stomach. So we need to learn how much quantity of or how can we use that chemicals into our liquids. So for that, 1 cup of liquid contains only 4 to 5 grams of soy lecithin or sodium alginate. If we use more than that, the you can say that the liquid or the sauce will become lumpy. So the measurement plays an important role in molecular gastronomy, as well as the acidic level or the pH level of the sauce and that soup will also plays an important role if we are planning to prepare any molecular gastronomy cuisine. So two basic elements are there, or you can say two basic important aspects are there which we keep in which we have to keep in mind. One is measurement of the chemicals. Second one is pH level of chemical of our sauces or our gravies, which we are going to use in the preparation. So the gravies and the that sauce, the pH level have to be neutral, not alkaline, not acidic. It have to be neutral for the preparation of molecular gastronomy cuisines. So I hope it is clear to you.
Yes, I mean, since this topic has a subjectivity to practicals,
Yeah, it's a totally practical based topic. Molecular gastronomy cuisine is totally practical based.
so
Okay.
in a way we can say that this is a scientific augmentation of presentability of the dishes that we have.
Yeah, exactly.
Something like
Actually, it was started in 1876 in a French restaurant which is named as El Bulli. So El Bulli is a restaurant in France which started this molecular gastronomy cuisine. And let me tell you that if you want to book a table in El Bulli restaurant, you have to book that table uh, about 6 months ago. You can't call on the same day on or you booked a table. You need at least 6 months prior booking for that restaurant. It is one of the most expensive restaurant in the world, and it will cost around 2 lakh to 3 lakh per sitting for per pack. So it is one
all
of
right.
the most
Very new
expensive restaurant.
information for that, and that's, I mean, okay, we'll keep it in mind. I mean, whenever we want
Yeah.
to have a
Okay.
visit there,
Sure, sure.
probably we'll save our 6 months because of this information. One more thing,
Okay.
Chef, I've got a question from the audience. That is it like, I mean, uh, people want to say in their own words, but what I've understood, and I would like to present it in a very easy way so that easily understandable for you also. Like they want to say, is it making Indian dish in some presentable way is going to be called as deconstruction of the Indian cuisine?
Yeah, exactly. Deconstruction basically means the presentation and the way of presentation of existing recipe into a new way. Like I have shown you some pics like this one. This mutton rogan josh. Okay, so this is a basic recipe, basic mutton rogan josh recipe, but the way of presentation is totally different. So deconstruction of Indian cuisine or any other cuisine is, you can say, in a simple word, is a way of presenting the dish into a totally unique way or in a totally new avatar. Which I have already mentioned that a dish which can make you think that, oh my god, this is something magical, this is something unique. So deconstruction of any recipes is this, which make you say this is magical, this is something which I have never seen in my entire life. Like deconstruction means keeping the authentic flavor of the dish, okay, but presenting it into a very new and very unique way. So this is deconstruction of recipes or any Indian dish, keeping the authentic flavor as well as presenting it into a very unique and special way. This is molecules. This is deconstruction recipes.
Yes, actually, I've got a question which was similar uh, to the one which was last, and I think the question of the answer of it to an extent you have given. But since this question has been asked by one of our very good student, he wants to ask you that if this deconstruction of things happens, does it give any effect to the taste of the food? But I mean,
No,
as I've told you, have given already the answer. But once again, if you can please just
see,
give an example.
yeah, sure. Deconstruction of cuisine or any recipe, which I have already told that while deconstructed any recipe, you have to keep the flavors to be authentic in an authentic manner. Don't play with the authenticity or don't play with the flavors of that authentic dish. Just try to plate and try to present it into a new or very unique way. This is what deconstruction of cuisine or deconstruction of dish means. Okay, don't play with the authentic flavors or it will ruin your dish. Remember this.
Oh yeah, because
ओके
once
सो
again, a spoon
आई
goes
थिंक
into
जैसा
the
फिर उसमें होगा क्या कि जैसे रणवीर शेफ बोलते हैं ना कि बनाने जाएंगे कुछ और बन जाएगा कुछ और, तो दैट विल हैपन. ओके.
all right, sir. Last question from my side. I
Yeah,
would like to ask
yeah.
you, is there any special project or any new projects that you're working on or any new idea that you're thinking
Actually,
of?
right now I am working on Sattvic food. Sattvic cuisine.
Okay. So the next question obviously has to be connected with that only. Uh,
Okay.
just a small brief about why do you want to work on that so that the new generation of the chef can
Okay.
understand the importance of significance of Indian food. I mean, people are
Uh,
working on that just so that is valuable. So people who are coming from new generations, they are only fascinated to maybe pasta or something like that, which is obviously it is good at its own, but at the same
okay.
time,
Okay.
the one which is having upper hand, if we talk about the healthy value of it, I think Sattvic food or the dishes from India are going to win a upper hand with this. So, would you like to give a light on this, a brief of it, that why Sattvic
Yeah.
food
Sure.
or why it is
See,
very
first of
important
all,
for the students?
yeah. First of all, if we talk with any French chef or any Italian chef, their main priority is their local food. Like an Italian chef will always go for pasta, or a French chef will always go for French mother sauces. So why can't we Indian go for our Indian food? We always want to taste some Italian, some French, or some Chinese food. The upcoming or the budding chefs or the new generation, they're fascinating towards, I think, French cuisine, Italian cuisine, and that Chinese cuisine, but they don't want to experience their authentic Indian food. So I just want, through this project, through this Sattvic project, I just want to focus or highlight the Indian food, or the food which was fed during the time of Mahabharata and Ramayana. Okay, if we talk about Sattvic food, there are three types of food, or three type of diets. If we talk about, the first one is Sattvic, the second one is Rajvic, or the third one is Tamasic. So nowadays, what we are consuming in our diet is Tamasic food, which will include multiple types of spices, grains, and exotic vegetables, or you can say different type of non-veg products. And in Sattvic food, during the time of Mahabharat and Ramayana, they only used to eat different type of fruits, different type of root vegetables, and they don't use any type of spices. They only use salt and black pepper. During the time of Ramayana and Mahabharat, I think only pumpkin and the sweet potato. These are the two vegetables which was cultivated in India itself. Rest all the vegetables and fruits were bring by Persians and Portuguese to India while when they travel to India. So I just want to make a project on that Sattvic cuisine. That why we can't accept our own cuisine and our own food. Why we are going toward other cultures or other cuisines. If we talk about Indian cuisine, that Indian cuisine is one of the most largest and one of the most biggest cuisine in the world. After every 5 to 6 kilometers, the food changes. Okay, if we are traveling in China, it's a very limited cuisine. If we talk about Chinese cuisine, it's a very small cuisine. If we talk about French cuisine, it's a very small cuisine. But if we talk about Indian cuisine, it's one of the most largest and endless cuisine in the world. The One of the famous chef Gordon Ramsay has already said that Indian cuisine is one of the most vastest cuisine in the world, that no one can learn it full. You can learn Chinese cuisine totally. You can learn French cuisine. You can learn Italian cuisine totally, but you can't learn Indian cuisine totally, because after every 4 to 5 kilometers, the food change. Okay, so this is the you can say uh, this is all about Indian cuisine. That it's so huge that that one life is so short to describe that Indian cuisine and to learn that Indian cuisine. So with this project, with this Sattvic food, I just want to showcase the importance of Indian cuisine and the importance of Sattvic and Ayurvedic food in Indian cuisine. That's all about my project.
That's what a very good and very nice idea that is expected from some of the prolific or
Thank you so much, sir.
upwarding professionals like you, chef. And I think students also will be inspired with this because there is a say in the market that if you really want to go and if you really want to know what is going to happen in the future, you really have to go back to history of it. If you go back to
Exactly.
history, you have to know what is going to happen. At the same time, it is going to be very complicated for the persons who do not know what I mean to say. But the people who are
Exactly.
really into this today's present, they will get to know that till the time we go back, the more we are going to know about the future. Basically, that's what, because we can see that so many things that were followed in the past times, like cooking utensils and something like that. And chef, you also know this that nowadays these Teflon coating equipments and utensils are coming. People are diverting themselves from this
Exactly.
to the pots that were made in the ancient era, and they
Exactly.
actually had value of it and all these things. But rest is something which is dependent on the students what they are going to take out from this session. But for me, and I'm sure, I mean, from the behalf of all the students also, this has been a very beautiful session, an interactive session. And since the session was really, like, on and on, it was more about the discussion, not more about the dictation. So this would be professionally beneficiating the students who are there, and I hope so. And I hope so to coordinate with you in the future in this sense also.
Yeah,
So
sure. If
thanks for
if
taking out
any
your time
any
on
of the
behalf of
student
all.
if any of the student have any doubt, you can share my number to them. And students, you can contact me anytime through social media platforms, Instagram, and on Facebook also. And at last, I just want to say one thing, sir, to all the budding chefs, that uh, मेहनत करते रहो and सक्सेस अपने आप मिलती है. एंड जस्ट मेहनत से कभी डरना नहीं चाहिए. ये लाइन ऐसी है कि इसमें हमें एक सर्टेन प्लेस तक पहुंचने में काफी टाइम लग जाता है, बट काफी सारे स्टूडेंट्स होते हैं जो डर के वो अपनी लाइन चेंज कर देते हैं. सो कीप ग्रोइंग, कीप वर्क हार्ड, और सक्सेस जरूर मिलेगी. टाइम लगता है, बट एक मेहनत करने से जो सक्सेस मिलती है ना, उसका मजा अलग होता है. आई थिंक राइट शेफ,
Yes,
राइट सर, है ना?
जी,
So
correct.
work hard and
Absolutely.
keep growing.
Fine. Thank you once again on behalf of Parul University and on behalf of all the students for taking out your
Thank you
time.
so much. Thank you everyone.
Have a good day. I think we shall call off this session and we shall see you
Yeah,
in the next session when we have it in the future. Thank you.
sure, sir. Bye. Thank you so much.